Kia ora team, and welcome to DayZ Tips Driving School. Right, I have mentioned in other videos about acquiring cars, looking after your car and getting it all put together, and now that you have one you need to be able to drive one, which is an experience in and of itself. So let's go over that. When you get into the car, you'll see on the left you've got the option to get out and also start the engine. You will also see at the bottom that you have the gear select. X will go down the gears, circle will go up the gears. Obviously, it is my advice that you have it in neutral. Because the country I live in uses kilometers per hour, you'll see my dial is set to kilometers per hour. You can change that in the settings. The dial at the bottom is the temperature. If that starts going up, your radiator is damaged. Once it gets to a certain temperature, it will start to damage the engine, and an engine indicator will appear. And if that goes dark orange, you better stop because you have a very limited time until it goes red. And if it goes red, your engine is ruined, and so is your car. And you've obviously got the petrol gauge, which in this case is full. We don't have windscreen wipers, sorry, but we do have lights, which is triangle. So when you're in, select neutral, hold L2, which is the brake, and I think you can see that I'm going on the brake there. Hold L2, and with R2 you start the car. You want to let go of R2 before that needle gets into the red zone. And then you want to select gear and you can pull off. Now you need to manually shift. I honestly wouldn't go faster than about 30 k's. 40, 50 at an absolute max, because, and here is the thing that you need to know. When you are driving vehicles, you are crossing the map. The DayZ map is made up of a number of zones, I think 12 zones altogether, and those zones load in chunks as you're approaching them. Now, what can often happen with cars is, when you are driving along, you are approaching these zones quite quickly, and there's something of a lag between you arriving at those zones and those zones loading in. What happens in that case is that you get a serious lag on what you can see, but your car keeps moving on the server, which means it has a habit of running into objects and potentially becoming damaged. We do not want that to happen if we can at all help it. And there you go. That's it there. So what we do to prevent that is we just hold the brake button, which is L2, and in this case we managed to stop before hitting the Armco barrier. So if anything like that happens, don't panic, don't do anything, just hold L2, because it's probably the only way you're going to be able to solve the problem. Now, you have a couple of different surface road types on the DayZ map. We were driving along a standard road, which usually appears on the tourist map as yellow, and we've turned off to take what is effectively a sort of a dirt road, back road. Now you need to know that some of these regular cars don't handle these dirt roads particularly well, so you need to be careful. They will lose control, and I would say the biggest issue that I have had with cars and losing control, especially near trees, is smashing into a tree and losing your radiator. It's sometimes a good idea to have a spare radiator, and sometimes the roads appear to run out. You just need to keep an eye out, look for it. You can go into third if you like. It's sometimes helpful in third person for maneuvering, but I like driving in first person for the immersion. I think it's kind of funny. Yeah, it can be quite terrifying. It can be fairly intense stuff, especially in the trees. But the answer is go slow, right? What you're doing is traveling faster than walking or running, and you're using a lot less energy. And if it's raining, I'm out of the rain. So I'm not getting wet at all. It is a free look driving experience. So the left stick is doing the controlling of the steering wheel. L2 is my brake, so that's slowing me downhill. I don't want to get too much. You can look with the right stick, obviously. And R2 is accelerate. Obviously, vehicles are quite noisy, so they are going to attract the attention of infected. There's a whole lot of infected around here, for example. So they're probably going to chase the car. That's fine. Let them. They can't actually hurt you even if you don't have doors, which is, you know, well, you know. Is that okay? Is it not okay? I mean, it's up to you. So they'll chase the car. They're interested in the car, which is fine. I mean, obviously you're going to make a heck of a lot of noise with these people following you around. And obviously, if you just stop, if I just stop here, they have this habit of climbing into the car, which is very peculiar. And if you run over them, they die, which is great. They can sometimes be very handy for clearing military areas. So if you have a car and you've got enough space, say like Vybor, you go up into Vybor and you drive your car just straight in there if you can. It won't drive through a locked gate. All of the military infected will come running. Just drive around in circles until you've run over everybody. And then you can park your car and get out and loot Vybor at your heart's content. Obviously, being aware that you are going to make a lot of noise, and if there's any other players in the area, they'll hear you. But, you know, you can do that. Car is a deadly weapon? Sure, why not, right? I mean, isn't that what we're here for? Now then, just one thing about maneuvering cars if you want to reverse them. So, reversing can be a little bit tricky. I've found, certainly from my perspective, it's easier to do it in third person, and you'll find that the engine tends to stall quite a bit. So it's the kind of thing you probably, yeah, you see, it stalled again. So it's the kind of thing you probably have to just keep your foot on the brake. Get yourself into position, get yourself to where you want to be. And there you go. Driving and parking your car. You now have the DayZ driving license. Ta-ta for now.
PlayStation